1970 saw Glamorgan finish as runners-up in the county championship. It also saw Alan Jones represent England in a match at Lord's against the rest of the world. At the time he was awarded an England cap and an England blazer, but the bureaucrats subsequently stripped the game of test match status.
Alan Jones was a model to young players, the shape of his batting, the style of his batting. I've always thought that batting with him was probably what I remember most. And he used to run with his head down, and I said, but life without seeing the button at the top of your cap running towards me isn't the same as it used to be.
Alan would play as if the whole world was passing him by, and he'd be concentrating from ball one to the last ball that he played. I can always remember Alan when he was captain of Glamorgan, and we always go out on these training exercises, and I think John Hopkins, as Ponty, and Gwyn Richards, and myself, and especially Nashi, were built more for comfort rather than speed, and Alan would hair off down to the front, and he'd keep on going for mile after mile. And I can always remember seeing him in the far distance, and I'm thinking, gosh, you know, we're safe now. Then all of a sudden he'd double back on himself, come right the way back, and then egg us on to push us on a little bit further. So I can always remember Alan as a true professional, great character, what a wonderful gentleman.
You know, you're delighted to be selected for England. It's a big occasion. People had talked about me playing for England for a very, very long time before that. I would say when my chance came to play for England, it was late. It was too late in my career. I thought I played better than I did play in 1970 earlier on in my career, and I thought I had a good chance of playing for England then. But it never happened. It was a great experience going in to play against the rest of the world with a great side, people led by Gary Sobers and Mike Proctor, Graham Mackenzie, Viv and Barry Richards. You know, they were great players, a great side, and it really was a great experience.
He was such a good player, Alan, and a scandal that he played against the all-world 11 for an England side at Lord's, and they said that wasn't first class. Man alive, Mike Proctor, one of the great all-rounders of all time, came in at number 8 or 9 for them. No, I think Alan Jones can genuinely be called desperately unlucky.
Glamorgan did quite well in 1970 as well, very nearly managed to win back-to-back championships.
Yeah, well, we were still a good side. You know, we didn't suddenly become a bad side. We went in 3 seasons, consecutive seasons, we went from 3rd to 1st to 2nd. Now, that doesn't happen too often, even these days. And we then, at the end of 1972, the then committee, who were a bunch of dumbos, I might add, decided that they wanted to bring in some new blood. The new blood ended up 17th, I think, the next year. Shep and myself went. I don't remember who else also was shown their parking orders, if you like. And the club went from there, where we could have held that position in 73, to there. QED.
As far as Glamorgan were concerned, the 1970s saw little success. But there were highlights in 1977, when, for the first ever time, Glamorgan reached the final of the one-day competition, staged at Lord's. Their opponents were Middlesex.
After the monsoon season, we could scarcely believe our luck at Lord's today. The sun was shining down out of a cloudless sky, a day of Indian summer indeed, a full house, and a very interesting prospect indeed.
If you assess the Middlesex side, they were full, totally chock-a-block with internationals. They had Wayne Daniel, the West Indies. They had the England twins, the Edmonds and Embry. Mike Selvey opened the batting, Breers, Michael Brealey, Barlow, Gatting, it was just absolutely loaded with internationals.
Well, it really was something very, very special. It was never before had Glamorgan been to a final at Lord's. Again, you know, in one-day cricket, the toss plays such a big part. Mike really won the toss and put us into bat on a morning at Lord's where it was a lovely morning, but the ball swung around a lot.
Found the outside edge and will low down to slip to start with. That's hooked away. A determined, good shot there by Alan Jones. And that's bringing a roar of delight to the whole flock of Glamorgan supporters who've travelled up here today.
I do remember that we did have a slow start, so I really did need to sort of get up with the pace and everything else. All I wanted to do was to keep things simple and hit the ball as straight as I possibly could.
Safe. Hit that well, actually. Didn't quite place it as he would have wanted because it went perilously close to Wayne Daniel. The timing was okay. Good shot. Well, that's a brave reply to starting the over at 50 for 3.
Again, I could see that we were still falling behind and we needed to get on. So I then decided that, you know, concentrate all my efforts again now against, well, it was John Embry. I could well have been his last ball of his complete stint. So I knew exactly what I was going to hit John, hit him straight and hit him hard, but I had to make a little bit of an advanced movement with my feet.
That's a massive hit.
I struck John as I anticipated, but then the ball just kept going and going and going.
It really has given that some plover way into the pavilion. A terrific blow off the last ball of John Embry's 12th over.
And I just couldn't believe it, so everybody was sort of looking because it seemed to be up there forever, and it kept going and going, and then it hit. There's an MCC sign on one of the turrets. It hit that on the way up, and it bounced off of that. And I thought, and I can always remember Wayne Daniel, who's looking underneath. He just turns around, he looks up, and he went, "Oh God," he said, "this is incredible." And then they had the flags waving out of the scorers and so forth, and Richie Benno made a comment, and it was quite incredible. There's lots of, you know, sixes that I've hit over my career, but it was against Middlesex in the final at Lord's, and all the crowd, and they went absolutely ballistic, and it was a wonderful, as I said, a wonderful day, and the whole thing. The only sad thing is that we did lose it.
So still 2-1 to Caudle to Edmonds. That should be it. He's taken the first one quickly. He's turning for the second. The mission is successfully accomplished by Middlesex. They win the Gillette Cup by the margin of 5 wickets as the crowd stream onto the ground.
Well, Alan Jones, you may be the Glamorgan defeated captain, but you've still got a smile on your face.
Well, Peter, it was a great occasion for Glamorgan cricket to come to Lord's today. Of course, it's disappointing for all the players, you know, coming to Lord's and losing, but somebody has to lose. But I'm grateful to the side for the way that they played cricket this year. They've played tremendous cricket. We've been a very good side in the Gillette Cup. To get to the final, it's a terrific achievement, and I'm grateful to them.